not the thing we're doing? Nope. You know, the first day back from vacation is always a good time, is it not? So this morning, we are going to our children's sermon. Sam will be here in a moment. She will be here in a moment. That's all I can say about that. So today, we heard a story about Peter, the disciple, in our gospel text, and how Jesus told Peter on this rock, which in Greek, the name Peter is Petra, and so that means rock also. And so Jesus said, on this rock, on Peter, I'm going to build my church, and that Peter is going to be the one who will represent kind of the church and what it will look like into the future. When we talk about building on rock, there's another place where Jesus talks about this when he talks about a parable about a guy who built a house on rock and someone who built a house on sand. So we are going to hear that story out of our cool Spark Story Bible. We're a huge fan of this book. It's well worn. This book has seen better days. House on the Rock is what this is called. Jesus liked to teach people by telling them stories. Sometimes he told stories called parables. Through parables, people learned God would help them, especially when things were not easy in their lives. Jesus told this parable about two houses to many people as he sat with them on a mountain one day. I want to tell you about two different people. Each one wanted to build a house. One person was very smart, and one was very silly. The smart person built a house on a sturdy rock. Bad weather came, boom, echoed the thunder, and shook the little house as lightning streaked across the sky. Plop, 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 dripped the heavy raindrops that fell on the roof. Whoosh, sighed the cold wind as it blew against the walls. The house didn't fall down, though because the smart person had built it on sturdy rock.
That's not a smart person. That's a silly person.
This is the smart person.
It is?
This is, what does this look like?
Sand.
We just saw a lot of sand at the beach, didn't we? This looks like sand, and he's building his house on sand. The silly person built a house on sand. Something very different happened. Bad weather came, boom, echoed the thunder, and shook the little house too, as lightning streaked across the sky. Plop, 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 dripped the heavy raindrops that fell on the roof. Whoosh, sighed the cold wind as it blew against the walls. Guess what happened this time? Because the silly person built the house on sand, crash! It fell down.
Mr. Spiegel was like,
Ooh. Oops.
I thought it was the silly person because he had his tongue out. Like,
He did. He was working hard, though, I think, with that concentration tongue. If you listen to me, you are building your life in the sturdy rock of God. If you don't listen to me, you are building your life on ideas that are like sand that shifts and blows away. When Jesus finished talking, the people on the mountain were surprised by his words. They had never heard stories like that from their rabbis before. Jesus was a wonderful teacher who helped them learn how to always listen to God. So this story has two different people. We have the smart person and the silly person. Now, we don't want to say that the silly person was altogether bad, right? Jesus doesn't say he's a bad person. He just might be a little misguided, right? This week, if you've been to the beach, either this summer or another time, you might have built a sandcastle. And what happens at the end of the day when you leave your spot from the beach? What happens to your sandcastle, Sam?
If you build like the sandcastle a bit close to where the tide is, it could come up at night because the tide rises really high at night and wash down your sandcastle.
That's right. And do we spend a lot of time on sandcastles sometimes?
Yes.
Yes.
I had a really good one last time, but
You did.
But I crashed it so the water wouldn't get it. So
That's right. When we build our houses literally on the beach, we know they're not going to last forever, right? But when we want to build a house that lasts forever, we build it with sturdy things, right? We try to make it as sturdy as we can so that any storm or rain or snow that might come, it can totally hold up and won't fall down. Jesus, though, liked to tell stories about the things that he was trying to teach people. Sam, do you have a favorite story that teaches you something that you like to tell or hear?
In the Bible.
Doesn't have to be the Bible.
Let me think for a second.
This summer, we've been focusing a lot on stories and storybooks and the things they teach us. And I have many favorite storybooks. When I was a kid, one of my favorites was Strega Nona, right? Strega Nona, what does that teach us about being honest? Big Anthony is not so honest, right? And that spaghetti can grow out of a pot magically.
And you have to listen to.
And you have to listen to Strega Nona, that's right. We also love Bert and the Broken Teapot, teaches us about forgiveness.
Okay, she likes that. I kind of do not.
Well, it's okay. But, so what stories do you like? What's one of your favorite storybooks that we have?
I like a lot of Berenstain Bear books.
Berenstain Bear books. Why do we like Berenstain Bear books?
Because they're funny and they have lots of lessons.
They have lots of lessons in them, don't they? We like Berenstain Bear books because they often teach us about things that really help us to maybe understand the world or ourselves a little better. Sometimes it's about manners or cleaning our room or
too much TV.
too much TV or trying to get
Sweet snacks.
sweet snacks and all those things.
Candy.
We also, so stories help us learn, don't they? And as we get ready for school, we're going to start doing more reading at home and more of that learning and learning through story. So
Yeah.
this week, think about the ways in which you're learning through story. You can say something, yeah?
Me and my mom had a bet, and if I read a book like for 20 minutes a day, we would go back to the beach and just like have a beach day, and she would bring me to a store that I really like and get me this gigantic blue narwhal that's really, really soft.
We'll see how that goes. Sometimes we need to read stories and imagine them in our minds. The older we get, right, the less what are in our books? Pictures. So we have to use our imaginations to imagine what those stories could look like. Our imagination is good. You have a good imagination.
I'm reading Upside Down Magic's the chapter book.
Yes, she is. So this week, think about all the stories and the storybooks that you love and why you love those stories and what they teach you, maybe about life, about yourself, about the world, and all those things. And I hope that you have a wonderful week as we get ready for school and all the fun things that are coming. And Dragons Love Tacos. We love Dragons Love Tacos because Dragons Love Tacos. Maybe that'll be our book next week, just for fun.
And the crayons.
Okay. We will see you next week. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us for our story. Keep reading those stories and telling those stories too. Bye.
Bye-bye.